has revenue been growing?
DMO ties rising debt profile to high exchange rates and weakened revenue generation. Also tonight, Professor Soludo hits the ground running as new governor of Anambra State. Good evening. Welcome to NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stover in Abuja. Hingino John Adams is in Lagos. And in Benin, we have Obehi Otobo Apreza standing by to join us later. And you can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, on YouTube channel NTA News Online. You can also visit our Twitter handle at NTA News Now, Facebook page NTA Network News, and Instagram NTA Network for updates. Now, 120 million US dollars is being estimated as development costs for the entire value chain of sugarcane production, projected to be cultivated on 10,000 hectares of land in Nigeria. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Adeniyi Adebayo, revealed this at the weekly briefing from the State House. Elizabeth Omori reports.
Analyzing the Sugar Master Plan to the media, the minister explained that the Federal Executive Council in 2012 approved the implementation of the Nigeria Sugar Master Plan and adopted it as government's strategic roadmap to facilitate self-sufficiency in sugar production.
Our annual demand for sugar for industrial and domestic use is 1.75 million metric ton. We have attained self-sufficiency in refining raw sugar with an installed capacity of 3 million metric ton, but still have to import about 1.7 million ton of raw sugar to feed the refineries. In order to substitute the importation of 1.7 million metric tons annually, Nigeria needs to develop 250,000 hectares of land.
The Nigeria Sugar Master Plan, the minister hinted, will eliminate the annual import demand of raw sugar and fuel to the tune of more than $700 million.
NSMP contains fiscal and investment incentives designed to stimulate demand and attract new investors to the industry. The NSMP specifies roles for the public and private sectors. While the government provides a conducive policy environment, which includes the technical expertise to produce and process sugarcane.
He identified insecurity, illegal occupation of lands, and recurring communal hostilities as factors hampering the growth of the sector. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
In a renewed vigor to promote the health of Nigerians and make healthcare services much more available, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has inaugurated the Lancet Nigeria Commission to drive investment in the health sector. Elizabeth Omori reports on recommendations by the Commission aimed at improving healthcare services.
With an estimated 206 million population and still growing, Nigeria development partners say must reposition future health policies to achieve universal health coverage as Africa works towards 2030 targets. Inaugurating the Lancet Nigeria Commission, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo re-emphasized the importance of domesticating health financing.
And we believe that the health of Nigerians does matter. And we've therefore focused interventions on the people living in the rural areas, women, and of course, vulnerable populations.
Professor Osinbajo also reiterated the need to have a rethink on health security through digitization.
Government should lead the development of standards for the digitization of health records, better data collection, registration, and quality assurance systems.
Key players in Nigeria's health space made recommendations on prioritized health investments.
I want you to look at what we have in place as our health infrastructure today and see how to transform and revolutionize that health infrastructure so that it is responsive to the needs of the people.
You need people from multiple disciplines, including law and anthropology, to come up with the right answers to the myriad of challenges that we face.
Development partners also suggest engaging communities to address issues of vaccination, maternal care, and health financing. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
The Debt Management Office has pegged Nigeria's total public debt as at December 31st, 2021 at 39.556 trillion naira, representing external and domestic debts of the federal government, the 36 state governments, as well as the Federal Capital Territory. Director General of DMO, Patience Uniha, while presenting the numbers, attributed the rise in debt level to market fundamentals that include rising exchange rates and increasing capital budget for infrastructure. Leah Katumba Batunde reports.
So that is growing because we've had consecutive budget deficits. It's growing because we have a huge infrastructure deficit, which we need to fix in order to create jobs and attract the private sector so that GDP can grow.
The public debt stock for December 31, 2021 includes new borrowings from domestic and external sources of 5.498 trillion naira to part finance the federal government's budget deficit. Ms. Onia says borrowings for these purposes and disbursements by multilateral and bilateral creditors account for a significant portion of the increase in the debt stock. Increases were also recorded in the debt stock of the states and the FCT. The new borrowings were raised from diverse sources, primarily through the issuance of the Eurobonds, sovereign sukuk, and federal government bonds, and were used to finance capital projects and support economic recovery.
High debt service to revenue ratio. So if we're spending, for instance, the figure as at September last year was 71%. It's high because you have been borrowing. And like I said, debt is not a grant. There's interest. Some even have fees, like the World Bank fees, where, again, you have commitment fees and all of those. So as that stock is growing, debt service will grow. So the challenge is, has revenue been growing?
At 12.47%, debt to GDP ratio still remains within Nigeria's self-imposed limit of 40%. Measures to increase revenue through the Strategic Revenue Growth Initiative, SRGI, and the introduction of Finance Acts since 2019, the government believes will work for the good of the economy in the meantime. In Abuja, Leah Katumba Batunde, NTA News.
And from the legislature now, the House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill seeking to repeal the Nigeria Immigration and Prisons Board Act to enable its replacement by the Civil Defense Corps Correctional Federal Fire and Immigration Services Act. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the bill passed second reading during today's plenary.
The executive bill seeks to bring 4 agencies in the Ministry of Interior under a single governing board in order to conform with public service regulations. The agencies are the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Nigeria Immigration, Correctional and Federal Fire Services.
To provide for policy direction to the Corps and services and appoint, promote, and exercise disciplinary control.
2 bills forwarded from the Senate for concurrence also passed second reading. House members passed a resolution to investigate issues surrounding concession agreements on Garki General Hospital between the Federal Capital Territory and Nisa Premier Hospital.
FCT administration on 1st of March 2022 gave the management of the hospital notice to vacate and hand over the facility by April 1st, 2022.
What the mover of the motion have said, he has given us one side of the story. And it is not for us now at this point to stop the process of what they're doing, but to rather investigate. Even if we are able to stop, it's for us to investigate and report back to the House.
The point of emphasis here is procedure. The procedure has not been adhered to.
The motion from Ibrahim Al-Mustafa urging authorities to take measures towards curbing incessant security breaches in parts of Sokoto State was adopted from the National Assembly. Lami Ali, NTA News.
In spite of various measures put in place by the authorities to check illegal importation and proliferation of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria, the Criminal Act has continued. This time, the federal government has initiated a bill that seeks to establish a national center for the coordination and control of the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
The National Center for the Coordination and Control of the Proliferation of Small Arms and Light Weapons Establishment Bill is a major strategy by government to stem violent use of arms in Nigeria. Having gone past second reading, the Senate Committee on National Security and Intelligence has convened a public hearing to get input from members of the public.
These forms of criminality have posed a serious existential threat to the country.
The question of insecurity has long been worrisome.
The center, when established, is to identify the main routes for arms smuggling, formulate policies and guidelines for the eradication of illegal importation and proliferation of illegal weapons into the country.
To minimize, if not completely eradicate, the security challenges in Nigeria.
And ensure that all the culprits are apprehended by proper law enforcement agencies.
Some countries have actually killed it. They have established their own national commission.
For the participants, the passage of the proposed law, as recommended by the ECOWAS Convention in 2006, is long overdue. The Office of the National Security Advisor, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Nigeria Customs Service, and others made recommendations.
This should be increased by a first offender, 5 years imprisonment, and a fine of 5 million naira.
Computerization, that the national database for all arms in circulation.
If somebody applies to have an arm, there must be a training program.
Our duty is to listen to you and then collect the information with which we are going to do reports to the Senate.
The Senate Committee on Establishment and Public Service also convened a public hearing on the Microbiology Council of Nigeria Establishment Bill. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The federal government, through the Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises project in the Niger Delta, is targeting to shift the attention of youth entrepreneurs from oil to agribusiness. This was made known at the third joint supervision meeting of the Livelihood Improvement Project LIFE-ND in Abuja, with government already training 4,250 youth and women in 9 states of the Niger Delta in various agribusinesses. Muplang Dakok reports.
It is estimated that Nigeria has about 22 million unemployed youths. To help engage a huge number of these youths, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with the International Fund for Agriculture (IFAD) and the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), came up with the Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises project, known as Niger Delta LIFE-ND, in 2019. 3 years on, project partners are satisfied with the project, which aims to enhance income, food security, and job creation using the incubation model.
And this incubation process, they select some youths, usually who were unemployed. They bring them to work with what we call an incubator.
The project has largely impacted on the lives of the youth of the Niger Delta. Substantially, we'll be able to give them hope that agriculture is the way to go. And the enthusiasm of the youth has been quite encouraging. The target of the project is to ensure that we have at least 4,250 entrepreneurs, agro-entrepreneurs in each of the 9 Niger Delta states.
The $90 million project covers 900 communities in 88 local government areas across 9 states in the Niger Delta area of the country. But Akwa Ibom, Rivers and Imo states are yet to benefit, as funds are still being expected from the NDDC.
The project is wonderfully doing well. So the only problem we have is that aspect of the project that is being sponsored by NDC. So as a result, 3 states are lagging behind.
The program has so far supported more than 300 agribusiness incubators, 1,825 youth incubatee enterprises, and 2,139 beneficiaries in agribusiness training. Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has called for the speedy signing of 2 memoranda of understanding between Nigeria and China to fast-track tourism between the 2 countries. The minister made the call when he received the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Cui Jianchun, on a courtesy visit to his office. Anthony Forson reports.
The 2 MOU will facilitate
group travels by Chinese tourists to Nigeria, as well as travel facilitation through the approved destination status. With Nigeria, just as China's huge tourism attraction, attracting 1% of the 130 million Chinese tourists to Nigeria annually will be a big boost. Recalling that in 2002, Nigeria and China signed a bilateral agreement to encourage cooperation in the sector, but focused only on exchange programs, human capacity building, joint marketing, and investment.
Nigeria and China have established cultural centers in Abuja and Beijing, respectively, even though financial constraints have led to a temporary closure for a center in Beijing. Nigeria has also enjoyed cultural exchanges and training from the Chinese government.
Another area the minister harped on is the need for exchange between the two countries on film production.
Because already we are master storytellers. All we need is just to improve more on our technical aspect. And this is, I think, where the collaboration between China and Nigeria in the area of change is going to help both countries.
He commended China for extending its cooperation with Nigeria beyond culture and tourism to infrastructure development, just as he applauded start times of China's partnership with the Nigerian Television Authority, which culminated into ITS, one of the signal distributors in the DSO project. Lai Mohammed, however, mentioned the purpose of the $500 million loan being sought for from the China Export-Import Bank, saying it will be used for the digitization of NTA, construction of a headquarters complex and transmission network for ITS, and the construction of an ultra-modern media city in Ikorodu. In his remark, Ambassador Chui said China is re-strategizing its bilateral relations with Nigeria to focus on growth, development, and progress.
Really, I'm proud to say that I'm working hard to get the big project done. And also, we are facing the difficulties. So I talked to Minister of Finance and also Minister of Transportation and also Power. The most important things is the infrastructure. We fully understand the President's vision. Without the infrastructure, really, we cannot move forward, but we have difficulties. How can we finance the big project?
The ambassador said the new focus will be anchored on people-to-people communication and relationships, as well as cultural exchanges. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And it's time for a first break. The news continues shortly.
Ajaye go gym. You won't go shake your body. Instead, they make you calm down. If the pump say stabby, you want to grow 6 packs in a day. You know you pass the power. You want to show yourself.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Federal Ministry of Health, in conjunction with the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, heartily welcomes His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osibajo, GCON, the Senate President, Distinguished Senator Ahmed Lawal, the Right Honorable Speaker, House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, all members of the National Assembly, and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, to the 2-day Primary Healthcare Summit held in Abuja, Nigeria, on the theme Reimagining Primary Healthcare in Nigeria. We also heartily welcome our implementation partners, private sector stewards, state governors, the Honorable Minister of Finance, the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, and all stakeholders in the primary healthcare space. The date is Thursday, 24th and Friday, 25th March 2022. Venue, Abuja International Conference Center, Central Area, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. Dr. Osagi Ehanire, Honorable Minister of Health, announcer.
For further information, visit www.phcsummit2022.com.
The Zenith Better Life promo is back, and it's bigger and better. You could be one of 20 lucky customers to win 150,000 naira every 2 weeks from now till January 31st, 2023. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account and maintain a minimum balance of 5,000 naira. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com/betterlife. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
About you, we have taken our own. What about you? I am strong and healthy. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? We are strong and healthy. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Go and get your job. The hospitals, churches, and the mosques. Go and get your job. Health centers, hurry up now. Don't be late. Go and get your job. Bye-bye, Corona. Bye-bye, Corona. This message is brought to you by the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Musabaka Foundation for Quranic Recitation in Nigeria Center for Islamic Studies, Usman Udamfodio University, Sokoto, in collaboration with Bauchi State Government, wish to invite the public to the 36th National Quranic Recitation Competition scheduled to take place in Bauchi State from 15th to 23rd Sha'ban 1443 after Hijrah, equivalent with 18th to 26th March 2022. Special guest of honor is Excellency Muhammadu Buhari GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Chief host is Excellency Bala Abdul Kadri Mohammed CON, Kauram Bauchi, the Executive Governor of Bauchi State. Royal guest of honor is Eminence Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III, the Sultan of Sokoto. The opening ceremony will be held at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Stadium, Bauchi by 10 a.m. Announcer Kadi Abdullah Yakubu Marafa, Chairman, Local Organizing Committee.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
The Gunners continue their push for Champions League action as they face a tricky tie at Villa Park. This Saturday is Aston Villa versus Arsenal on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 1 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Babai Jebu, empowered by Integral.
Thanks for staying with us. And just a quick reminder, you can follow this broadcast on our website, nta.ng/live, on YouTube channel, NTA News Online. You can also visit our Twitter handle at NTA News Now, Facebook page, NTA Network News, and Instagram, NTA Network. Newly sworn-in Governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, is promising to give attention to projects that would kickstart a new era of sustained growth and development in the state. The governor, who was sworn in alongside his deputy, Dr. Onyekachukwu Ibezim, says all of government activities would focus on putting the state on the map of global competitiveness. Ndem Kalu has the details.
In his inaugural address, Governor Soludo promised to work very hard to make Anambra proud. The governor assured that he will hit the ground running from holding a meeting of the State Security Council, among others, seeking the active cooperation from the federal government and neighboring states.
I will engage all parties to the breakdown of peace and order in Anambra from a point of determination to solve problems and resolve the disagreements with openness, integrity, equity, and justice. I will absolutely invest my political capital within the state, Southeast and the presidency, federal government, and its establishments.
While stating that himself and his deputy are committed to building a new socio-economic order with short-term pains but guarantee of a prosperous future. Governor Soludo insisted on patronizing local brands, promising to give it his all to make the state proud, using the lean resources of the state to lay the foundation of a new Anambra. Governor Soludo also promised to conduct local government elections in the next 2 years of his administration. From the government house, Oka, Ndem Kalo, NTN News.
The chairman of the All Progressives Congress Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, Governor Maimala Buni, has re-emphasized that the March 26th National Convention of the party is sacrosanct. At the end of a closed-door strategic meeting by members of the Caretaker Committee, Governor Buni said APC National Convention arrangements, as executed by his counterpart, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, are on track.
Well, since when I travel, the party has not stopped, and His Excellency has done very well in managing the affairs of the party. So we are here to discuss certain issues going forward. We are now at the finishing line. Of course, the convention is at hand, just 26th of March. So we are putting heads together to ensure that we achieve the speed of accomplishment.
So, sir, are we saying that 26th of March is still sacrosanct?
Yeah, sacrosanct.
Well, like for the past 1 week, I've been acting as national chairman, and what I can tell you is we made a lot of progress towards convention. We saw in the state party chairman, we adopted some of the zoning system, and we adopted some of the documents or decisions of CCEC before he left. So in the last 1 week, I think I can tell you for free that we're good to go for convention.
The meeting was attended by members of the Caretaker Committee, except the National Secretary. In the meantime, a large chunk of loyalist supporters and members of the All Progressives Congress are still applauding President Muhammadu Buhari's intervention in the intra-party crisis, which had threatened the party's activities for a while. Salihu Gwanara spoke with those who said the president's move rekindled hope among the party supporters.
The governing All Progressives Congress began to experience twist in its leadership since June 2020, when the Adams Oshomole-led National Working Committee's life was cut short midway. Party supporters say the long delay and uncertainty that hitherto characterized the conduct of a national convention about 2 years after the appointment of the 13-member Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee under the leadership of Governor Maimala Buni is responsible for the latest development in the party.
And if Maimala could bring us together since all this time for now, I think we should commend him.
You see, what we need to do, party first, is obtained all over the world. Let us concretize our party, then all other interests can now follow.
The president's intervention was quite timely. He is a father and a leader because he probably had a foresight of what could happen.
As a president, he is the father of the political party and Nigerians at large. So whatever he says stands.
There is the optimism from party supporters that the coast is now clear for a national convention come March 26th. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
And staying with the APC, a national chairmanship aspirant of the All Progressives Congress, Tanko Almakura, has met with the APC caucus in the House of Representatives to canvass for support as the party counts down to its March 26 National Convention. He told the lawmakers that top on his agenda is inclusiveness, ensuring a fair and level playing field for everyone, signaling that he will remain open to ideas that will build the APC. Senator Almakura added that as a member of the merger committee that birthed the APC, he would continue to do what it takes to jealously guard the accord of the merger, which today is a success story in Nigeria's political landscape.
Nigeria's democracy, as it is now, is at a very youthful stage. And what we need is to ensure that people who already know the system continue to add value to the system.
House Deputy Speaker Ahmed Idris Wase, House Leader Alhassan Adodogwa, and some lawmakers expressed appreciation to the former Nasarawa State Governor and sitting senator and promised to give him their support.
It takes to give and to move our party forward. That you are also known to be a very reliable, transparent, sincere governor of Nasarawa State. You were also known to be an honest governor.
The Federal Ministry of Justice and judicial organs are working to stem the tide of conflicting judgments in the Nigerian judicial system. Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami gave the assurance while declaring open the 2021 media conference organized by the National Association of Judiciary Correspondents, Abuja. Austin Anyebe reports.
One issue that gave the judiciary a bad image in the year 2021 was the conflicting judgments delivered by some judges across the country on political matters. Though judges involved were interrogated and faced panels,
it has been our desire to turn the tide of conflicting judgments and imploring due diligence in judicial process.
He said as the 2023 elections approach, such trend, if allowed, will undermine the integrity of the conduct of the elections. He tasked the media to shun character assassination of personalities, hate speech, and fake news as currently being championed by some journalists in the country. The media conference had in attendance people from all other organs of the judicial system who educated judiciary correspondents on issues that will enhance their reportage of judicial matters.
News is a menace that the media must, curb. And I must commend the NCA. From time to time, whenever I watch the NCA, I see adverts and jingles saying curb fake news, it can cause violence, it can cause disunity, etc.
There will be so many cases for us to cover. And in such a situation, we need to broaden our knowledge.
In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
The Nigeria Police Force has recorded a breakthrough with the arrest of 30 suspects for complicity in kidnapping, armed robbery, arms smuggling, unlawful possession of prohibited firearms, car theft, rape, receiving stolen goods, among others. A statement by the Acting Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi states that during the operations, the police force also recovered a total of 8 foreign and 7 locally made AK-47 rifles, 8 revolver rifles, 2,200 rounds of live ammunition of different caliber, 12 AK-47 magazines, and 3 stolen cars, as well as 10 fake number plates. Also, a cash sum of 1,880,000 naira was recovered from the suspects during follow-up investigations. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, had tasked police operatives across the country to sustain the tempo in the fight to curb violent crimes in the country. The queues are still long, but waiting time is reducing, as reported by a correspondent Onengie Fineface, who visited some petrol stations in Abuja. Let's join him for an update.
The situation is a little promising because coming into the environment earlier, I observed that initial panic, that rancor that characterized the fuel situation at the beginning of this crisis period is no longer there.
Most especially to, the queue is no longer what it used to be when the fuel crisis started earlier. Now, because of the level of coordination here.
It's a very long queue here at Corn Oil Filling Station, opposite the NNPC towers. But the good news is, despite the fact that this queue is long, it's moving.
This will serve for 24 hours, day and night, because they are not like Joshua here, not like Jericho or Galan, whatever. So when you come here, I'll be here within 30 minutes.
Like 40 minutes, and I started right before National Bureau for Statistics, and it's been moving. I'm a little bit unlike the experience I had 2 days ago.
The only downside to this particular situation is that there is a greater need for traffic management. It's so bad that officials of the Federal Safety Corps have to be engaged to help motorists, those going in to get petrol, and those plying the routes manage the traffic situation. On NGA, Fine Face, and News.
Meanwhile, the federal government is threatening to sanction depot owners caught increasing ex-depot prices. Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, who gave the warning, says some depot owners increasing ex-depot prices will be dealt with decisively. Lydia Sampson reports.
Mr. Well, giving more insights into the fuel crisis, says the situation was compounded with the current conflict between Russia and Ukraine. He said the war has led to increase in crude oil prices, which has also affected the price of diesel globally.
When crude oil prices rise to that level, it also affects the derivatives of crude oil. So prices of diesel also went up, and we are very aware that Nigerians are suffering these high diesel prices like everywhere else in the world. This is not peculiar to us at all. There are some depot owners that were taking advantage of the situation and increasing the ex-depot price, because I can assure you that there will be sanctions.
He lamented that while petrol is available in the country, the diesel dimension is making it challenging for tanker drivers to distribute the products. He assured that the NNPC Limited and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority are working assiduously to restore normalcy. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And Hingino in Lagos is set with other reports on Network News. Hingino, it's up to you.
Thank you, Cyril. Curbing the menace and adverse effects of narcotics and other illicit drugs is the mandate of the Nigeria Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, but the authority is engaging in more collaboration with members of the public to win the drug-related war. This played out when the agency met with terminal owners and operators, urging them to generate ideas to make the sector free of drug peddlers. Adeola Komiakere reports.
While security operatives are tightening all loose ends at land and sea borders to prevent drug peddlers from bringing hard drugs into the country, perpetrators, on the other hand, are devising other tactics at getting their illicit products to their customers.
Tracking the waterways to get hold of this people. I think they are doing wonderfully.
So we are ready to give our full support to the NDLEA.
This worrisome trend is what the NDLEA Apapa Special Area Command is out to proffer solutions to, because of the extent and negative tendencies of abuse on individuals and the corporate image of the country.
We need to achieve the war against drug abuse. And in achieving that, we decided to reach out to all the stakeholders so that they will have an understanding of how we are doing the job. And at the same time, they should be able to contribute. Like this one is know your customers.
The command reiterated that in the last 6 months, 15 Nigerians and expatriates have been arrested with illicit drugs of more than 187,000 kilograms, some at the terminals. These visual presentations showcased ways drug peddlers transport illicit substances in bread and rechargeable lights.
We are going to change strategy. We don't want to blame anybody if we take any action. We don't want to ride against any operators or other terminal owners, because you have a company and you have an integrity to protect.
For the NDLEA and other security agencies, this engagement is the first in 5 series of mobilization program of critical stakeholders to join the fight against drug abuse. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
Now to the aviation sector, there is high optimism that the fluctuation in the price of Jet A1 fuel for aircraft will be resolved soonest, as airline operators are consulting with marketers of the commodity on the adoption of international pricing, which is benchmarked based on average cost price for a period of 1 month. What Michael Olale reports that in the interim, passengers want a quick resolution to avoid airlines from cutting corners.
Whether rainy or sunny, some people must find a way to fly. This is the situation at the Murtala Mohammed Airport, where in spite of the lingering crisis surrounding the availability of Jet A1 fuel, passengers are still demonstrating their preference for air transport, although with some discomforts. Within 2 weeks, Idowu Oladipupo has spent about 500,000 naira on airfare while navigating between Lagos, Ibadan, and Abuja. It is an harrowing experience for passengers, but the possibility of total shutdown by airline operators if the fuel situation persists is already creating a nightmare.
If you have meeting here, you cannot go because not everybody can really face what is the problem on the road in Nigeria of today.
Next week, I have to travel to Benin, and if there's no flight, well, I won't be able to attend to that meeting. That would, of course, be very regrettable.
The worries of air passengers like Babajide Kolade is different. He's more concerned about safety, which could be worsened with the present situation at hand.
We can't have a situation in which people will start using adulterated or unwholesome aviation fuel. That could bring down a plane.
Aviation fuel marketers are also constrained by forces and events surrounding the ongoing crisis between Ukraine and Russia, but working on a self-sustaining model with airline operators.
It will be a fixed price for a whole month. It doesn't go up or down during the month. So it doesn't matter if the international price goes down, you still pay that amount. It doesn't matter if the international price goes up, you still pay that amount.
In the interim, the NNPC has intervened by setting a benchmark of providing Jet A1 fuel for airlines at a cost of 500 naira per litre. But it is a temporary solution that might not bring down the price of airfare.
Let's begin to look for the permanent solutions. And one of them is to build an aviation fuel refinery. Akwa Ibom government has promised to do that. We can start that quickly. We can also have a smaller modular refinery anywhere in Nigeria.
Although there seems to be light at the end of the once dark tunnel, but a permanent solution to the fluctuating price of Jet A1, as suggested by respondents, is for airline operators to be given approval or licensed for the importation of the commodity. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Time now for our second break, but before then we would like to remind you that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on YouTube at NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News, Twitter handle NTA News Now, and on Instagram at NTA Network for updates.
Oh, I see this collab where they shoot there. No stop. Yeah, give me small new number now.
Romance without finance now, annoyance. Better give me ball.
Yeah, give me the number.
Oh, yeah, jot the number down. 005.
Where the complete number?
It's always so hot, like the guys are gonna need juice, so just like juices.
Hey, oh yeah, give me last numbers.
My 5 password.
419 you owe me.
Oh yeah, 7650.
What's you? Smiley, hello, how are you? Guys, the first collab was on the train, though.
Find your first. Choose a social data bundle that suits your style. Dial *777#. Glow Unlimited.
Dear friend, how are you? I can smell the goodness of Easter around you. But wait a minute. Do you know you can enjoy Easter in luxurious comfort like never before? Because this Easter, Bedmates Furniture invites you to discover new levels of comfort with furniture that brings life to your home. Seriously, now is your last chance to have a memorable Easter and beyond. From 21st March to 20th April 2022, get furniture you love at unbelievable low prices with free gifts in our showrooms. Hurry now before others choose the finest units you want.
The judges for Nigerian Idol Season 7 are ready. The stage is set, and now it's time for you to impress.
Nigerian Idol Season 7, showing every Sunday on Africa Magic Urban and Family. Proudly sponsored by Biggie Drinks, Nigeria's favorite, and Binance. Exchange the world.
The Gunners continue their push for Champions League action as they face a tricky tie at Villa Park. This Saturday is Aston Villa versus Arsenal on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 1 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu, empowered by Integral.
Right, back in Abuja, I have the simple question. How's business? Benny Adams is the man with the answer. Benny?
Business is good, but not all the way. You get to hear more of that. We'll start by telling you that a macroeconomic analysis modeling laboratory and economic intelligence desk to enable testing of proposed new policies before implementation has been inaugurated in the Ministry of Budget and National Planning. Minister in charge of the ministry, Clem Agba, while inaugurating the facility, said results obtained from the lab will be used to support the ministry's consultations with stakeholders and institutions in the process of developing and implementing national plans.
The lab and the Economic Intelligence Desk is equipped with portfolios of macroeconomic models, namely the macroeconometric planning models of the Nigerian economy, a dynamic input-output model, the ISDG model, and the dynamic computable general equilibrium model of the Nigerian economy. We have provided several analytical softwares to enable the modeling lab and the economic intelligence desk function optimally, including providing some introductory training for technical officers to operate the models and to ensure that the models are regularly reviewed and updated.
And now taking a look at the energy market, oil prices climbed over 7% on Thursday after the International Energy Agency, IEA, said 3 million barrels per day of Russian oil and products could be shut in from next month. And despite the U.S. Federal Reserve's decision to raise interest rates, benchmark Brent crude futures gained $7.47 to $105.49 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was up $6.85 to $101.89 a barrel. Morgan Stanley raised its Brent price forecast by $20 for the third quarter of $120 a barrel, predicting a fall in Russian production of about 1 million barrels from April. And out to the capital markets, investors lost 6.06 billion naira as all share index dipped marginally by 0.02% amid improved market turnover. The ASI stood at 47,353.22 basis points as market capitalization depreciated to 25.520 trillion naira, 239.7 million shares exchanged hands by investors in 3,848 deals valued at 3.891 billion naira. Market breadth closed negative as UACN led 16 gainers as against 17 losers, topped by Nigerians. United Capital, UBA, and FBNH were the most active to boost market turnover. MTN Nigeria and Guarantee topped the market value list. That is business news. Network news continue with Obehi in Benin.
Hello, Benny. Many thanks for joining us here in Benin. The federal government, through the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, has performed a groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of resettlement camps in Auchi, Edo State. Agochuka Ona reports that the Deputy Governor of the state, Comrade Philip Shaibu, performed the groundbreaking ceremony on behalf of the federal government. The report.
The Resettlement City, which is the initiative of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, has a prototype of a modern city to accommodate the internally displaced persons. The groundbreaking ceremony was performed by the Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu, assisted by the Otawa of Auchi, His Royal Highness, Ali Rumomo Ikelebe III. The team earlier paid a courtesy visit to the palace of the Otawa of Auchi, where the Deputy Governor and the Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, re-emphasized the federal government's commitment to the welfare of displaced persons.
This project that we are about to start is a legacy project. It's a community of its own. It's going to have all these amenities.
Groundbreaking of the resettlement city for persons of concern in Edo State. Post-COVID-19, the federal government of Nigeria has taken some funds for resettlement cities in one location, and Auchi was one of the locations.
The thank God that has given us succor. One, we couldn't thank him enough, but it is sufficient for us to say that as human beings in this not, we have relative peace.
The Deputy Governor also inspected the ongoing construction of the Edo State Musabaha building. Ogochkuka Ona, NTA News.
The ongoing continuous voters registration in Edo State has moved to the 192 wards in the state. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, at a forum with key political stalwarts in Benin, emphasized the need to sensitize the electorate on the exercise. Paul Omokago has the report.
These stakeholders have an important assignment in this third phase of INEC continuous voters registration exercise, which ends on 22nd March 2022. They are to collaborate with relevant government agencies in sensitizing those in the grassroots to avail themselves of the online and physical registration of prospective voters. Edo State's resident electoral commissioner, Dr. Johnson Alalebo Tineke, while highlighting the initial challenges at the commencement of the CVRO in June 2021, says there is a lot of ground to cover.
The Commission has also approved that we should remove these avid machines for the CVRO to all the ROs. And for that, we have mapped out modality of sending it to all the ROs.
With INEC intention of bringing registration of voters close to the people in rural areas, stakeholders pledge to mobilize and collectively sensitize the people to register.
Our political party must work with INEC in the area of sensitization.
Registration has been made easy for everyone, that they have brought it to our doorstep.
Instead of the just one registration center, which was domiciled in the office of the INEC office in the local government areas, it has devolved to the wards.
The INEC portal will open for the fourth quarter on 11th April 2022 after a 10-day break between 22nd March and 10th April. In Benin, Paul Mukago, NTA News.
It's time for a third break, but don't forget, you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at ntang/live and on YouTube at NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News and Twitter handle at NTA News Now. And on Instagram, it's at NTA Network for updates.
Low. GoTV price don't go down low for inside Max for Less promo. They go summer you with GoTV decoder, GoTenna, plus 1 month Max subscription. Package will be 9,500 naira before. They don't slash them to 6,500 naira. See discount. Make yourself enjoy football for inside your house. Cross leg what African Magic come play Niger, telenovela, Nigerian Idol, and Bunga drama. Yourself is so big with Max for Less promo and enjoy correct entertainment for only 6,500 naira. So make you hurry. Visit GoTV store today. This offer not be forever. GoTV. Love it.
ever-busy ancient city of Onitsha is a commercial hub with millions of commuters seamlessly linking other states daily for business, leisure, and other purposes. To upscale its road network, the construction of a 1.6-kilometer long second Niger bridge, including a 10.3-kilometer highway furnished with other infrastructure, has been in motion by the federal government. This project will ease congestion on the existing 56-year-old Onitsha bridge and boost the economic capacity of the state as it easily connects to other parts of the country. The completion of the world-class second Niger bridge Onitsha will be one of the many proud moments of the state, its people, Nigerians, and foreign investors. Onitsha, which hosts the largest market in Africa, is geared up to boast of an impressive road network. Once again, these moments are made alive by the federal government, and it is deserving of all the applause.
The Gunners continue their push for Champions League action as they face a tricky tie at Villa Park. This Saturday is Aston Villa versus Arsenal on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 1 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu, empowered by Integral.
The passing of a former director news of the Nigerian Television Authority, Gold Oru, has been received with great shock and described as an irreparable loss. Amaka Wu reports that Madam Gold, as she was fondly called, was a disciplinarian and a core professional who impacted many lives even after her retirement from service.
This used to be the sitting position of late Madam Gold Oru in this chapel she built about 15 years ago within the premises of the Nigerian Television Authority on Victoria Island, Lagos. This will no longer be the case as Madam Gold Bridget Oru has answered the glorious call to the great beyond in the late hours of Wednesday, March 16, 2022, at the age of 75. She is described as a devout Catholic who contributed to Christian worship in no small measure.
We pray that God will grant her a merciful judgment and a place in his kingdom. We will keep praying for her because it's a colossal loss for the Catholic Archdiocese of Lagos.
She was the brain behind the building of this chapel. So it was like a retirement gift to the Christian community in NTA.
We're going to miss her counsel. We're going to miss her determination. We're going to miss her service in the vineyard of God.
Madam Gold Bridget Oru was a woman of many parts who joined the services of the Nigerian Television Authority in 1975, rose through the ranks as news producer to the managerial level and eventually retired as director news in 2006. Madam Gold Oru is survived by 2 children, grandchildren, and the host of relations. She will be greatly missed, especially by those who see her as the benefactor, mother, and mentor. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
A big loss. President Muhammadu Buhari commiserates with the Obasi family, the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Nigerian Guild of Editors, and Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria over the sad loss of the publisher of hallmark newspapers, Prince Emeka Obasi. President Buhari affirms that the veteran journalist and former Commissioner of Information in Abia State lived a patriotic life and contributed to the growth of the nation. And that concludes Network News tonight. Don't forget to stand with the NTA against rape and rapists. I'm Cyril Stover. Good night.
On your TV, computer, iPad, tablet, and phone. Log on visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment. Then NTAI
You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.